Now we get to our premier event of the night. And our funnest one, funnest?
Most fun.
Most fun, thank you, is adoption of the 2019 budget.
And I think I'll just give a very brief introduction, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much. We have discussed this on 2 occasions publicly, well, actually in some workshops as well, but the meeting in September, we set the preliminary levy at 3.4%. And as you may recall, that levy can be decreased, but it cannot be increased. And we received direction from council members at that meeting that they would like to see it decrease a little bit down closer to 3%. Well, according to your staff report here in the budget, we landed at 3%. And Finance Director Sharon Provost will go in through some additional detail on that. But we made some changes that we reported to you at the budget workshop meeting or discussion meeting in November, and got the gross levy down to a 3% increase. And that's actually also representing a growth in our tax base. Our actual tax base has approximately a 6.57% increase. The staff report says 6.59%, slight change in some calculation or rounding numbers. And the final number there is about a 6.57% increase. With that, we've got a number of steps with this public hearing, but we do have a truth in taxation presentation, and Sharon will take care of that. And so I think that's the next step in the item here.
All right.
All right. Okay. Okay, so the truth in taxation, the purpose of tonight's meeting is an opportunity for the public to comment on the proposed budget and the tax property levy before the formal adoption. The budget objectives of the city continue to be to balance our general fund, to eliminate the general fund reliance on LGA, to maintain sound fiscal health, to preserve our parks and our open spaces, to maintain quality city services and program, to fund our infrastructure, to maintain our facilities and equipment, and also to position the city to address the future challenges and opportunities that may come along. There are 4 major components on your total proposed taxes. Of course, the City of Little Canada, the 2 school districts within our city limits, Ramsey County, and then there are 4 special taxing jurisdictions that are listed there. All right. The tax rates by those 4 taxing jurisdictions have all pretty much gone down since last year, except for the 2 school districts. They did see a slight increase. Or I guess only 1 school district, I should say, had a slight increase. The other one did have a slight decrease. So school district 624 went up. Now, how are your taxes distributed amongst those 4 taxing jurisdictions? Almost half, or a little under half, goes to the county, with the school district would be next, and then the city and the special taxing jurisdictions make up the rest.
How long before MISC eclipses us?
One can only hope, right?
One seems to be shrinking and one seems to be growing.
If you look at the city's tax levy comparison, we did have a 3% change in our general fund. It went up 3%. Our infrastructure, we have maintained at the same level since before I got here, so for a long time. And our fire equipment fund, we normally increase that 6%, and we did that again this year. So in 2019, the residential property tax changes, 29, almost 30% of the property taxes the properties within the city saw either a decrease or no increase at all. So almost a third of our properties. Almost half of our properties saw an increase of up to 10%. And 20% of our properties saw an increase of 10% or higher. And now this does include any new construction. If you look at Ramsey County, the different city tax rates within Ramsey County, we came in as the 6th lowest, and that was the same as last year, so we were able to maintain that. If you look at our tax base, as Chris mentioned earlier, our tax base did go up 6.57%, and that allowed us our tax rate to go down 2.22%. Our median house value in Little Canada went up. It went up almost $15,000, which was a 6.2% increase. Now, if you look at that median value home and you compare the tax dollars for the city, 2018 to 2019, you're looking at a monthly increase of less than $2, or a little bit more, I should say, than $2, but very low. So you went from $641 last year to $670 this year. If you look at just the general fund within the city, 75% of that revenue comes from property taxes. And then it's kind of a split between the intergovernmental money we get, license and permit, miscellaneous, they all account for about 7%, and our refunds and reimbursement are coming in at about 4%. So again, obviously 3/4 of our income comes from your property taxes. If you look at the budgeted expenditures for all of the city, a third of our budgeted expenditures go for capital projects. And then that's followed by 27% to the general fund, and then our water and sewer enterprise fund makes up about 21% of our expenditures. Oopsie, I went the wrong way. So if you want more information, there'll be a replay of this presentation on CTV. The budget will be posted on the website in the near future. And if you have any other questions, you can contact staff. So at this point in time, I'd ask if there's any questions from anybody here.
Great job.
No questions?
Nope.
All right. Thank you. All right. So our next is to approve the 2019 budget and certify the levy.
Do we have, this is a single public hearing. Do we need to probably close public hearing before we take any action? I don't think there's anybody that would like to comment, but.
Okay. You're probably right. So I'll make a motion, we close public hearing.
And I'll second.
A motion is second to close public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. All right, now,
I'll make a motion, Mr. Mayor, that we approve the 2019 budget and certify the levy as presented in the presentation by City Finance Director.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the 2019 budget and certify the levy. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next, we have ratified the 2019 capital improvement plan. Do we have any information on that we were going to present or anything? Or just state that?
Nothing separate from what was presented at the November 28th meeting. That was the capital improvement budget, and then everything is included in the actual budget document attached to the memo.
I'm just trying to find that. What is the capital improvement budget for next year?
Depends upon which one. We have several different capital improvement or capital funds. So are you
400
talking
fund?
infrastructure?
Yeah,
So the infrastructure fund at the 450 fund would be our infrastructure. And that one's coming in at the expenditures of 1.252494.
all right.
The total for all of our capital improvements funds for next year is, 2019 is 4,805,000 and 805 and 165, yeah. 4,805,165.
And that's, as Chris said, that's consistent with what's been presented as part of the budget package all
Correct,
throughout.
yep.
So, all right, we need a motion to ratify the 2019 capital improvement plan.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to ratify the 2019 capital improvement plan. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. And we need to approve the 2019 bond indebtedness tax levy reduction.
Which I believe is,
I think that's in your packet.
yeah,
Can you recap that real quickly?
I don't have it in front of me.
There was no change from what was presented to us earlier in this column.
okay.
Exactly what we had talked about.
With that, then I'll make a motion, we approve the 2019 bonded indebtedness tax levy reduction.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the 2019 bond indebtedness tax levy reduction. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. And lastly, ratify the 2019 salaries as they've been presented.
And those were provided separately,
Yes,
Mr. Mayor and council
to us.
members, to you,
Yep.
and are not included in the packet right
Right.
now.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion, we approve the 2019 salary scales as presented.
I'll second that. A motion and a second to ratify the 2019 salaries. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Any other questions? All right.